Good afternoon, Venice. Welcome to the arena. I'd love to have you here today. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I'm excited to be here.
Today, Venice, I really wanted to create this podcast to really help out a lot of people that have been reaching out to me about you and Nirvana. A lot of the questions I've been getting from a lot of the parents is how I got you guys involved in sports. They're trying to get their kids involved in sports. They're struggling, and they just always asking me like, "Hey, how'd you do it? What did you do?" And the best thing that I can answer really for the most part is that I just really tried my best to push you guys to do something. So I would personally like to give the opportunity for the parents to hear it from you, so that they can kind of see like, all right, there's a kid, like, what is it? The question would be with these: how did you get into sports, and how did you feel influenced in order to get started?
I don't know. I guess whenever you and Mom were in that league, I saw you guys just having so much fun. And I was like, man.
What league?
You guys were in a volleyball league with all your friends. And I just saw you guys doing that and having a good time. And I was like, that seems interesting. Like, hey, my parents, people I look up to, are having a great time doing this thing. Maybe I should try it out.
But you didn't get started with volleyball, didn't you? Didn't you have some other sports before you got volleyball? Like, you went through a few different ones. What were some of them?
My very first sport was golf. I remember as a kid, after going to school, we would go to a golf course and we would just hang out, just like me and you, and have those little dates as each other. And I feel like I mainly enjoyed that because I loved having time with you, but I didn't really enjoy the sport as much. Next, we went to gymnastics. I don't really quite sure why we went there. It was just more of like to try it out, experience. It was fun. I made friends, but it wasn't quite the sport for me or my sister. Then I went to swimming. I really actually personally enjoyed swimming a lot. I actually really, really enjoyed it. It just, I don't know, it just, again, wasn't really for me. And then we went to volleyball, and I feel like even like other people would see me do it, and they would just be like, man, like, that's your sport. And I just know it, like, I just knew whenever I did it, I was like, yeah, this is a sport for me. You just know.
Yeah, that was a really good point. What you said, the influence, right? How somebody, like your role models in your life, whoever they may be, how they influence you in your day-to-day activities, right? As far as what you aspire to be and what you want to do. So you personally felt like you were inspired by your parents, participating in volleyball specifically, that you were like, all right, I got to give it a shot. Let's see how it goes. And once you tried it, you really fell in love with the sport. That's a really good point. So once you got started in volleyball, I mean, you didn't start off being great, did you? Like, how did it go? Because I remember, like, we would play, and like, you were fairly, I would say, above average compared to other kids that just got started, but nonetheless you struggled. Like, what were some of the difficulties that you went through when you did get started on the sport?
Well, everybody, when you start a school, you have start a sport, you have those difficulties just getting used to the sport. And especially for me, going through all those sports, I mean, having that new sport, it was just a little newer, a little different than all the rest of the sports. Because, I don't know, I guess it was just different than all the other sports that I tried out. I say that I had a lot of time difficulty in this sport with power. I had trouble with my serves, getting over the net, spiking. That was, I would say, my main difficulties in this sport. And I would say, like, confidence when I first started out. I wasn't confident in myself doing these things, and I definitely seen a difference, and I definitely seen other people tell me that they seen a difference in my confident levels of me showing in volleyball and stuff.
Yeah, I love what one of my friends said, something about like whenever you do something, right, like you're gonna suck at it, and then you just gotta keep doing it until you don't suck at it anymore. Yeah. So I feel like everybody has always done something at one point where they're like, right, I'm terrible at this, but I love it, and they keep at it, they keep going, and eventually they suck less and less until eventually they're just great at it, right, and they're good.
Yeah.
So one of the things that in my personal life, even in my daily activities, from business to even my, personal goals that I have as an athlete, I've always realized how important it is to have a coach in your life. So you've been very fortunate. When we were playing at Mangoes, you had Coach Drew, kind of see your potential playing and eventually inviting you to practice with him. I would love to know what kind of impact he's had in your life, and how's it bettered you as a person?
I think if you want someone to tell the truth about you and about how you play this sport and about just like you as a person, you would want Coach Drew in your life. But he has been a blessing of just, I think he sees the same goals that I see that I want to do in this sport. And he just all in is like, okay, if you give your all in this sport, I will give my all to you in doing this sport. And it was just amazing.
Yeah, but it's been great being able to see you out there and see the kind of talent he attracts, right? Because you had a great experience that day where you got to practice with Taran. Huh? So Taran and Kristen are extremely great athletes. They got to participate in the Olympics in Paris recently, and you got to practice with Taran. I'd love to know how that went and what is going through your mind when you got to get to actually hit some balls with her.
I was just like, oh, don't screw up. I was just so nervous the whole time, but yeah, I definitely enjoyed doing that.
That was fun. I got to see some videos of you playing. We'll post them on the podcast, and it was fun watching you do that. I can definitely tell you were a little nervous. So for the kids that do, eventually want to get into sports and stuff, like, I'd love to know, like, what kind of sacrifices have you had to make in order to get where you're at and in the position and the talent that you've gone to right now?
I had to make so many sacrifices. There's days that I just wanted to slack off, be in my bed the whole day and just do absolutely nothing, and then you would get to me and be like, what are you doing? Stop being a couch potato and go outside and do a workout or go do some surf or something. And then there's the other days that my friends would invite me and be like, hey, let's go to the pool, or hey, let's go to the mall, let's go hang out for a whole day. And I'd be like, sorry, no, can't do, I have to go practice. And I would say, if you love something, there's gonna have to be sacrifices you have to make in order to accomplish something in that thing that you love and that thing you want to do. Like, there's always gonna have to be sacrifices you have to make. And yeah, it might suck, but it's worth it. It's so worth it.
So some of the parents, that are wanting to, put their kids into sports, I would really love for you to give them a message as far as how volleyball has impacted your life and how has it made you a better person, in which way?
In all the ways. It just helped me, my confidence, my leadership, I feel like I even saw a difference in my school, just paying attention. Like, I just felt like in volleyball, I was like, whenever I would pay attention to the people that would give me advice on how to play volleyball, I'd be like, hey, that person knows what he's talking about. I should probably listen to him, or her, and be like, oh, they give me good advice to do the thing that I want to do. I'm going to listen to him or her, and then I would do the thing that I was struggling with, and I would put the advice into work, and I would do what I wanted to do. And I guess I put that into life. Like, if this person is giving me advice about to do this that I want to do in life, or to do this I want to do in life, or like even in school, if I'm struggling in math or I'm struggling in science and I'm paying attention to my teacher and I'm asking for help and stuff, like, I'm making better grades, I'm putting more effort into things, I'm making more friends. Like, volleyball has had and still is making a big impact on my life.
I love what you said about that, right? So you've been able to really learn how to show respect, right? Like, you see somebody that, hey, they know better than me, I need to make sure and listen to them. That's really good. So the confidence is huge, right? Because I believe in general, as a parent, if you can instill confidence into your children, they'll be ready to take on the world once they become adults. So they can take it on from a point of, you know, confidence where like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna figure it out, right? Having that confidence to make sacrifices.
Yeah, like I said, like whenever I was just barely starting with volleyball and I couldn't make my serves over, I couldn't spike the ball over. My confidence levels were very low, and when I first started. But then when I started making my serves over, when I started making my spikes over, when I started to get that ball up with that bump, my confident levels increased so much. Even in like today's life situations, like whenever I had that test, I'd be like, okay, I got this. I studied all night. I'm confident in making a great grade on this test. Or whenever I'm going up to someone and I want to be friends with someone, hey, I'm confident and I just want to be nice to this person and I want to make somebody friends. It just definitely helped me with that.
Man, how you do one thing is how you do all things, right? That's my philosophy on it. It's like you learn how to do that, right? You learn how to go from not knowing how to hit a volleyball to learning how to hit a volleyball great. So you apply those same principles, and parents too, right? When they're teaching their kids, their kids in the older age are able to apply that same principle to anything that they do in life. Like, you know, going over there with confidence, knowing, hey, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna figure it out and I'm gonna get it done. And the way you do one thing is how you do all things. So if you're able to later on in life to apply the same principles that you applied to volleyball, right? Hey, I sucked at starting, I worked hard, I made sacrifices, and now I'm doing great. You apply that same philosophy to anything that you do in your life, like to your studies, to your career. You know, if you become an entrepreneur later in life, that's really where you're going to get a lot of the value. Another great value that what you said about the social aspect of it, right? So I truly believe that as a person, an individual, you know, you're the product of the five people that you spend the most time with. So being around athletes throughout your day, right? You're around a good crowd, and they're going to have those same influences on you to become a better person.
Yeah, I definitely seen, like, I saw myself, like, after I was like, okay, volleyball is a sport that I just want to spend every single hour of my life to do. Now all my friends are athletes. All my friends, they're on the volleyball team, or they have a job and they work, or like they're very respectful towards adults. Like, I definitely realized, like, I surrounded myself with friends that I want to be surrounded with.
That's awesome, Venice. It's great to have you on the show. I'd like just to get one last question as far as you being able to give or talk to any parent out there that's considering putting their kids into any type of sport. Like, what would be your advice to them, and why would you think it's important for them to do it?
Get them something to do and not just sit around and do nothing. Like, the friends that I used to have were people that don't do chores, didn't go out, sit in the room doing possibly bad stuff that you wouldn't want kids to do. And I see that the friends that I have now, the people that I surround with myself now, they don't have time to do all that stupid crap. Like, they are out doing stuff that like help them in life situations. The stuff that they do help them and not help them and not make them a worse person, but help them make a better person. Sports have definitely helped me in that situation.
What are your aspiring goals? Like, where do you see yourself in 10 years?
So in 10 years, I would be about 23. I'm hoping to maybe, I don't know, finish high school, and about 23, I would be finishing college, and so I'll probably, I don't know, like, go pro in this sport, maybe go to college in this sport, and maybe, like, go to the Olympics someday. You know, that'd be fun.
Kind of like Taran and Kristen?
Maybe.
That's awesome. I really wish you luck, and I hope that I'm able to be a part of it and help you out in any way I can. It's been amazing being able to see your journey up to now. I've been a very proud parent, and I wish you luck. Thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you.